What's up, everybody? What's going on?
What is going on? I'm Sta'Ce. This is my husband Terry, and we are Freedom Cruisaholics, and we are here to talk to you about this cancellation to these cruises because of the coronavirus.
Exactly, y'all.
Let me pop my can first. You know, I'm used to having me a wine glass, but you know, I do this periodically. Let me take a sip of this
y'all.
This
we
some
enjoying
good
this.
stuff.
We got the blackberry lemonade this time.
Oh, you got it too?
Yeah.
Wow. There's some
Very
good stuff. Ooh, there's some good stuff. And y'all don't say nothing about my pinky. It just goes out like that.
And everything she drinks.
Everything I drink. I was always told if your pinky is out, that means it's shown up good. And I will concur.
That's what it is.
Mm.
Gotta have it ice cold.
Oh my goodness. And if they got us strapped up in this house, we're going to be drinking something. You know what I mean? They don't have us on the seas being cruisaholics. No, we're not no alcoholics. I'm just kidding.
So we're going to do it at the house.
Oh my goodness. Woo. We're cruising inside the house.
That's all we can do, y'all.
That's right. But ladies and gentlemen, you know, the last couple of videos that we did, we talked about the coronavirus and how it's affected cruising and about the cancellations and things like that. We had a few questions from a couple of our subscribers, and we, just in case other people have those same types of questions or concerns, we just want to address those. Okay? So you all know that right now cruising has been suspended until May the 11th.
Exactly.
That is for sure. That is concrete. I don't know about the cruises that are the latter part of May, but I probably can bet money on the fact that those cruises will be canceled as well. What do you think, baby?
I agree. Yeah, so
and probably going into June as well.
Yeah, so I really would just not even think about it, even trying to plan a cruise or rebook it anytime soon. Even, I mean, it might be too much saying to go the whole year, but I'm thinking
I ain't going the whole year.
I just think it might end up getting started maybe the later part of, the beginning of next year.
What did we say about the power of the tongue? You better quit playing.
Yeah, we gotta speak things in existence and have faith, but we gotta be for real about it.
How about this?
Hey, we gotta be real. Don't even think about cruising for the rest of this time.
He just said
maybe
to speak things in existence. Did he not? Corona, get your ass up out of here. Speak that into existence.
Well, we gotta be realistic though. I mean, maybe if so, it's gonna be the late part of this year.
Stop.
Okay. I'm sorry,
Stop
baby.
it.
I'm sorry.
You better
Okay, y'all. I'm sorry.
take a drink. That's what you put that in your mouth. Don't let nothing else. Just put that in your mouth.
All right, that's what
We're gonna talk about this.
Okay.
Now, for those of you guys that were on cruises that were booked up until May 11th, hopefully you have already looked at our update video part 2 about the cancellations. That link will be in the description below, as well as our first video that we talked about the cancellation. It will also be in the link below in the description. But we're going to reiterate that on today. If you are on those cruises and your cruise has been canceled, you will have 2 options. The first options, whether it's a 6-day or more or a 5-day or less cruise, your first option will be to get a 100% cruise credit. And respectively, if your cruise is 6 days or more, you'll get a $600 per cabin onboard credit, along with that 100% cruise credit. 5 days or less, you will get a $300 onboard credit per cabin. Now listen to what I'm saying. It's per cabin, not per person.
Whatever, babe.
And the second option for both 6 days and 5 days or less is a 100% refund. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this has never really happened in the cruising industry, or probably no other industry. So if people are requesting 100% refunds, please be aware and be mindful that if you do request a 100% full refund and the cruise was canceled by Carnival, you will get that 100% full refund. However, it may not be a speedy process. It could take up to 30 days to get that refund. We're really telling people, if you have this cruise and it's already been paid for, why not go ahead and get the cruise credit and enjoy that $600 or that $300 onboard credit for your next cruise?
Yeah.
That's a bonus for you. You know what I mean? Okay. Hell, we got the 2-week cruise coming up in August, and we're hoping that Corona took her ass home somewhere. Go back to China or wherever, Go back to the cave where the bats at. Wherever you came from.
I hope
just take your ass back. Because we would like to be on that 2-week cruise in August. So if they canceled it, we would opt to take that cruise credit. Because we will be getting back on the ship. We're not going to allow Corona or no other disease to just keep rearing its head and knocking us out of having the time of our life, because we weren't put on this earth to be isolated like this. You were put out here to enjoy the world and what you were blessed with.
No,
correct?
You're right. We don't need to be living in fear.
That's right. We're not gonna do that.
I agree.
If I had me a cannon and Corona was right here, I'd shoot her ass back where she came from. I'm just for real.
No, I agree.
So just because of what we're talking about, we pulled up the cancellation policy because there have been a lot of questions, and people were saying that they feel like they were being taken advantage of because of Carnival. But again, just like anything else that we do in life, we want things so bad, or we want to do things, and we sign on the dotted line or what have you, and we don't read the fine print.
Yeah.
Carnival's print ain't that fine. You know what I mean? But that's just a figure of speech. We don't go and read the stipulations behind booking certain things or purchasing certain things. And that's a habit that's just in the American way. I'm just going to be honest about it.
Yeah.
But we did print out the cancellation policy per Carnival Cruise Line when you are canceling a cruise on your own. Mm-hmm. Now, if Carnival ever cancels your cruise for something that is no fault of your own, Carnival's going to eat that, and they're going to offer you options to rectify the whole situation because it's not in your control.
Exactly.
So they do look out for you. You just have to be aware of, like with the coronavirus, let's just talk about it because that's what's going on right now. So people are really in fear about different things and what the next step is going to be, what the process is going to be, how long it's going to be, how long we're going to be enduring this coronavirus pandemic. And I get it. But I'm going to tell people that are our subscribers and those that are new to our channel, by the way, if you are just visiting our channel, you've never met us before, I'm Sta'Ce and this is my husband Terry, and we're going to be sharing information about cruising as well as tips and tricks and just highlights of different cruises and highlights of different things that you can look forward to, things to do and things not to do on our channel.
We always got a lot of good information, y'all, so check out our videos. We got a lot of our previous videos links at the bottom, so click on them, check them out.
Absolutely. And if it's not in the description below, it's in our library. Okay? Yes. So don't hesitate to share it with your family and friends and come along with us. Exactly. We'd like to have you.
And if any of the information helps you out, of course, we want you to subscribe to our channel. Give us a like.
That's right. And if you have any questions or comments, put it in the comments below. Yeah. We do get back to our subscribers fairly quickly. Okay? So, now, getting back to cancellations. Now, like we said, if Carnival cancels your cruise, they're going to look out for you. They're going to look out for you. Okay. Now, like we just mentioned, there are some people that are in fear of what's to come. And that's totally normal to be that way. But I'm just going to say, in reference to getting your money's worth, we suggest to you, highly suggest to you, to wait until Carnival actually cancels your cruise. Okay. Don't do it ahead of time, because when we tell you this because if Carnival does not cancel your cruise and you cancel it on your own, all expenses will fall upon you. You will lose more.
Yes.
Okay?
So we got a little information to give you a little breakdown of what would happen if you end up canceling the cruise.
Okay. So maybe you want
to... go right ahead, babe. You do it better. Go ahead.
Real now. Okay. So, like I said, we printed out the cancellation policy for Carnival Cruise Line. Now, they first tell you that if you cancel your booking prior to your final payment, that there will be no penalty to cancel unless you have booked a Pacific promotion that has a non-refundable deposit and or non-transferable fare. Now, what that means is, if you booked your cruise on an early saver or a super saver or pack and go, those promotions, those three promotions, have stipulations where you will lose your deposit. Cruises that are 3 days or 4 days or less, sometimes you can book it for $50 as your deposit. If you booked under those three promotions and you cancel on your own, you will lose that $50 deposit. Okay? Now, it's going to be a little bit of trickery in the word, if you will. You have to pay attention. Now, the pack and go, if you don't know what that is, the pack and go is when they're trying to fill up the ship right before sailing. And that can be up to 30 days before sailing. And they're just trying to fill the ship up. So you can get a cruise for a significantly reduced price. And when I say that, I'm going to tell you, when me and my husband got married, we did a 7-day cruise, an 8-day cruise for our honeymoon. And we were watching the price. And I tell you that it was $2,600 or $2,400 for this cruise. But we were watching it. This is how we found out about the pack and go. We waited to 30 days before and booked our trip. And we got that trip for $1,200 for a week cruise. Now, that was astronomically a reduction. You know, we paid for 2 people the price for 1 person. So that's the pack and go. Now, if you pack and go, when you purchase it, you have to pay for the entire trip when you book. If you cancel on your own without Carnival canceling it for you, then you will lose all of the cruise fare that you've paid. Does that make sense? For the pack and go, you will lose the total fare. All right? And that's one of the instances where you will lose your total fare. We'll talk about when you'll lose your total fare again a little later in the video. Okay? But your early saver and your super saver. Your early saver, sometimes the promotion will have you where you will lose your deposit as well as your total fare. So you have to be mindful as to how you're booking and when you're booking. Okay?
So y'all, I know this is a lot of information, but everything that we're covering in this video, we're going to have a link at the bottom where, you know, if you need to actually go to it and check it out and read over everything, it'll be at the bottom in this video. So
absolutely it will.
No worries.
Absolutely. And then the super saver is usually your deposit is non-refundable anytime after the booking. If you book it for your early saver, your super saver, and your pack and go, your deposit is non-refundable. Okay? Now, you all know, like I said, the 3-day cruise, you can use to book those for $50 deposits. But cruises that are 5 days or more can be $125 deposit if they have a half off or reduced deposit sale. Or if you didn't get it during that promotion, those longer trips, the booking deposit is $250 per person. So keep that in mind. If you booked a week-long cruise and you cancel it on your own, and you have 4 people in your cabin that you pay $250 each for, that's $1,000 that you're forfeiting.
Oh, yeah. Nah.
So you keep that in mind. So at all costs, try not to cancel your cruise on your own. If there's something significant going on that's countrywide, let Carnival cancel it. Okay? Now, if you have the insurance protection, that's a whole nother ball game. You can cancel it and just have to, as they say, suck it up, buttercup. You would have to suck up that deposit that you paid. You won't get that back. But other fares you will. Now, with that pack and go, one thing I want to mention on that, if you book under the pack and go, you will lose your total cruise fare for the pack and go if you cancel on your own. The only thing that you will get refunded is if you prepaid your gratuities, your taxes, and your port fees. Those are the only things that you will get back. But the cruise fare itself, you forfeit. Okay? You understand that, honey?
Yeah, a lot of information.
There's a lot of information. Okay, so moving right along, those were the promotions that we were talking about. Now, if you booked through a travel agent and you didn't book under those promotions, or you booked through Carnival, not under those promotions, we're going to give you a rundown as to how your refund will be given to you based on when you cancel. Okay? And I'm going to speak a little slow. I know I speak fast, but I'm going to speak a little slower so that you can understand. But like my husband said, there will be a link in the description for you to click on to go to the policies of cancellations with Carnival Cruise Line. So if you need to read that more in its entirety, the link will be below in the description. Okay? So let's get started. So now, they say once your booking is within the cancellation period, and every cruise has a cancellation period. Okay? So just listen and be mindful as to what I'm describing. Okay? Your penalty will increase the closer it gets to the time of your sailing. Okay? The first day of sailing, meaning when you get on the ship, is not counted. It's the day before that's counted. So they won't count the day of the cruise. Okay? So keep that in mind. So when calculating the days prior to the sailing, the day of the sailing should not be considered. That's in the policy. Okay? The day of sailing is considered the first day of the cruise. That is why it's not included. So now here's the rundown. From the final payment date to 56 days prior to sailing, the penalty is the standard deposit amount. Now, with that being said, that means that 56 days prior to your final payment date of sailing, you will lose just your deposit, but you'll get everything else back. Okay? Including your taxes and port fees and any gratuities and stuff like that you prepaid. Okay? Moving right along.
I got the next one too.
All right. You want to do that one?
Yeah. All right, y'all. Next one. From 55 days prior to sailing to 30 days prior to sailing, the penalty is 50% of the total fare or the standard deposit amount, which is greater.
Okay. So let me explain that to you. That is similar to the one I just spoke about. But the difference is it's 55 days to 30 days prior to sailing. The catch is that you forfeit 50% of the total fare or the standard deposit amount. So whatever you put down as a deposit, if it's greater than 50% of the total fare, they're going to keep whichever one is greater. That may not seem fair, but that's their cancellation policy. So if you've paid more and it's more than your deposit, I'm sorry, sweetnesses and gentlemen, you're going to forfeit whichever one is greater.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. Okay? So number 3. I got you. From 29 days to 15 days prior to sailing, the penalty is 75% of the total fare or the standard deposit or whichever one is greater. Again.
That's right.
They're going to get their money because they've been holding that spot, and it wasn't a cancellation that was canceled by Carnival Cruise Line Incorporated. All right? Now, here's the one that I was speaking about that kind of mimics the pack and go. Let me take me a sip.
You ready for that one, babe? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm interrupting.
Go ahead, baby.
All right. From 14 days prior to sailing to the day of your cruise, the penalty is 100% of the total fare. 100%, y'all.
Doesn't that sound familiar? That sounds just like the pack and go. So if you cancel your cruise, you have 13 days and you'll be going on your cruise. Oh, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. You know? But you didn't get the cruise insurance. You didn't get the cruise insurance. And you cancel 13 days before your cruise sails. You will get 0. Okay? You forfeit 100% of the total cruise fare. However, you still will get back your taxes, port fees, and any prepaid gratuities that were paid prior to. Okay? And again, if you get the cruise insurance, or the cruise protection insurance, that will help to buffer that. Okay? Now, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. We don't get the damn cruise insurance.
We have never
got the cruise insurance. We usually cruise out of Port Canaveral. We've cruised out of New Orleans. We've cruised out of Alabama. And where else? And we've cruised out of Charleston. We have never purchased the cruise insurance. And that is because we always go to wherever we're cruising from. We go down a day or 2 days early. So as not to run into any, if we run into anything, like on our first cruise, we ran into a flat tire.
Yeah.
But had we not opted to go down a day early, we'd have missed the cruise ship.
I mean, that's a great idea, how you always make sure when you plan it, we always go down to 3 days ahead of time. And I think that's great.
Yeah.
You never know what can happen. Things can just pop up, y'all.
You never know.
So
now the good thing about it is you can purchase your cruise protection insurance up to 24 hours before your cruise. So even though we go down a day or 2 early, if something arises or we see that something's going on, we can still opt to get that insurance. But we have never done it. We have never done that. Excuse me. No, I'm not tipsy. Stop it.
Sure, baby.
We have not. No, I'm not, honey. We have not purchased the cruise insurance ever. And we've been cruising since 2009. This is just how we opt to do it, by going down a day or 2 early. We have never went on a cruise and left early in the morning to get on the ship by 3 o'clock. We've never done that, because you always want to be prepared. And that's just something that we like to do. And I would suggest to anyone, even if you're flying in, you never know if you have a layover or anything like that. I've never flown before. My husband has, but I've never done that before. Hell, you put me on a plane, you might find me laid out somewhere. Because I ain't never did that. But maybe one day. But that's something that we do, and that helps us to feel a little bit more comfortable, you know.
Yeah.
And it's actually we had tire issues twice.
Exactly. Yep.
So it just helps us to do that. And anything that needs to be taken care of prior to us going on our cruise, we were able to handle it.
And it just always seems like a pre-vacation before the real vacation too.
Absolutely.
It just seems like we're down there 2 or 3 days, enjoying the weather, enjoying wherever we stand, and having a great time those 2 or 3 days. So it seemed like we had a little mini vacation before the main vacation. So
yeah, we like damn. We especially like when we do the 2 days before, we done had us a good time out there, going to the beach and out there at the resort having a good time. They playing music and we eating wings and we at the bar and just having a good old time. And it seems like we've already been on vacation for 2 or 3 days, like my husband says, and we're like, oh my goodness, this is lovely.
Yeah, it's like it really hasn't even started yet.
And we're like, oh, gotta get ready to get up in the morning to get on the shuttle to go on the cruise. And we're like, what? We've already been on vacation already.
Yes.
And you would think, it's time to go home. No, the party's just getting started. So it's always like, it makes you feel like you're having 2 vacations in one. And we absolutely love it.
Exactly.
So just being mindful about that. Some people want to do last minute cancellations and stuff like that. Please, please, please keep in mind what you are forfeiting. You can lose your total cruise fare, depending on how you book, or 75% of it, or 50% of it, or whichever is greater. That's what they said. Most people look at the numbers and, oh, okay, they're only going to take 50%, but then they forgot to read the rest of the sentence where it say whichever one is greater. No. Shazam! They got you. So just being mindful of different things like that. Now, if, Carnival has that Fly to Fun, those right there, we printed out something on that as well. If you book through Carnival's Fly to Fun Air, please note the following as it pertains to the cancellation of your air portion of your booking. With flexible air is refundable outside of the 60 days prior to selling. So that means that you would have to cancel like the 61st day or later. You can't do it 60 days and below. Because what? They got you again. The numbers. You got to watch out for the numbers. Because you'll have applicable penalties that will apply if you do that. 60 days for the air. Okay? And for restricted air is non-refundable at the time of booking. So be careful how you book things. Look at how you book things. If you book through Carnival, you have to check with them and ask questions about their cancellation policy pertaining to booking your cruise and your air together with them as a bundle. Okay? If you went through a travel agent, reach out to your travel agent and let them give you the details of how you need to handle your cancellation and what the pros and cons will be if you cancel at whatever particular time. But we kind of just sort of giving you the rundown of the Carnival's policy on cancellation. So with this coronavirus going on, I know that you're nervous, I know that you're scared, but please, just to be on the beneficial side of things, do not cancel your cruise on your own. Allow Carnival to cancel it for you, because on top of them canceling it for you, because they want to keep you as part of their family, they're surely going to offer you some extra option to continue to sail with them at a later date. So keep that in mind.
So right now, I know we would encourage you not to cancel it on your own. Wait until Carnival Cruise Line actually cancels it. But right now, you wouldn't suggest booking anytime soon, would you? I mean, like after. What time do you think is probably gonna maybe start back? What do you think?
Honestly,
I know what we're hoping.
I'm hoping that all this stuff will subside by the end of June or 1st of July. Is what I'm hoping. Yeah. Because what they're saying, because the bacteria can't live in heat, and it being the summertime, they have a fear that it's going to rear its head again come the fall.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm really not too worried right now about our booking in August. I just don't think that they'll cancel it. The only way I feel like they would, like right now, we talked on our last video about the Carnival Sunshine still being in Charleston. It's been in Charleston since March. And it's because of the coronavirus, and they have 1,100 crew members on board that's been living on the ship until this virus takes its continues its visit, in a sense. So I'm hoping that things will start to subside, and if people just stay at home and follow the stay-at-home orders that's been put in place per their state and their government officials, I think that it will help to flatten that curve.
Okay. Yeah.
But right now, we're not canceling our booking for August. We're not.
So even if someone's following this, the days or whatever, and they end up canceling theirs at, let's see, in April or canceling in May, you don't suggest them to go ahead and rebook again in June?
No, I would not.
That wouldn't be smart, right?
I wouldn't, because if they cancel, if Carnival cancels your April cruise, which they have, they're not cruising until May 11th. When May 11th come, they're either going to give their response to whether they're going to extend the suspension or not, sometime within that week of May 11th. So I would just hold steady and don't book anything. So those of you that might have had a cruise in March and you booked it for May, now that cruise has been canceled. So it's kind of like it's a domino effect. So it's your best interest would be to either keep tuning into our channel as we share this information to you as it becomes available to us, or just make sure that you listen to see what's going on, contact your travel agent to see what's going on the cruise line of your choice. And we can only speak for Carnival because that's who we primarily cruise with. But we will surely make sure that we keep sharing the information that we get. Any new information, any new updates, we will surely be relaying that to you guys in a timely manner.
Yep. So y'all, we just got to stay strong. Like my baby say, we got a cruise scheduled for in August. So we just going to continue to just wait it out and kind of see what happens,
See what happens.
We're not going to go make any moves right now on our own,
But boy,
just
if they cancel it now, man, I'm going to be burning the road up next year. You hear me?
Yeah, we really have a lot to make up.
They might mess around and I'll be gone for 3 weeks. They keep on. I'll be gone.
Oh, man.
And I'm going to have my drink package every week. Every week I'm on that ship, I'm going to have my drink package.
Yeah, because you know what? We were supposed to be going to the beach also.
Yeah, next week. But
we haven't been able to do anything. So
yeah, so we're trying to follow rules and regulations.
And what, baby?
Rules and regulations.
It sucks, man.
I'm trying to be, good. Because I would like to curve this too. And I feel like if people do what they're supposed to do and do what's necessary, we can get past this.
Yeah.
So ladies and gentlemen, we just gave you an update on the cancellation policy. I hope that this answered any of your questions and concerns that you may have. If you have any additional questions, like I said, there'll be a link below that will direct you to the cancellation policy for Carnival Cruise Line. If you have any questions for myself or my husband, please
drop it in
the comment, and we'll get back with you. Look at that.
See,
he's trying to be on the same thing.
Man, I'm telling you,
he's something. He's something. Huh?
We meant to be together.
Ooh, shut your mouth. Well, until you guys see us again, we hope to see you on the high seas. If you don't have a Truly,
try it, y'all.
You got to have a Truly.
It's pretty good.
And if you get a moment and you're following us on YouTube, why don't you find us also on Instagram at Freedom Cruisaholic, and send us your best picture of your inside home, stay-at-home drink for coronavirus isolation.
Yeah, we would love to see it.
We would love to see it so we can shout you guys out. And until then, we'll see you again, hopefully on the Lido.
All right, y'all. See ya.